Good, good.
All right, it's almost 9. Let's do it.
Yeah. These things live? I think they are.
Hello. Is mine on? Hi. Nope. Oh, we have to do the panel. It's not them
I was waiting.
doing the Hi, welcome to my very favorite part of PAX, Retrogame Roadshow. Woo! Thanks. I'm told that it's really hard to hear the audio from the sounds from the audience if you're watching live on the Twitch stream. So basically, it's just going to sound like us talking and then gaps of silence and then us talking again. Yeah. So yes, thank you all very much for coming. Who here is a Retro Game Roadshow newbie who has never been to a Retro Game Roadshow before?
Wow, that's
a lot of you.
Nice.
Thank you for taking a chance. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Basically, what we do here at Retro Game Roadshow is it's like Antiques Roadshow for video games, and that means that we want you to come on stage with your retro gaming treasure, and we, who are crazy game collectors, and I'll get to that in a second, we will talk to you about what we think that your item is. What is it? Where did it come from? And it may invent you a guess at the end as to what it actually might be worth on the current collector's market today. And it's always a good time. There's always lots of fun stuff. I talked to some of you in line, and you definitely brought some cool things to look at. And so we have a bit of a presentation here. Here's a presentation for you. You can't get, you got to have a PowerPoint with these things. This is the title card. Sort of Q-Birdie. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, I made it.
You worked very hard on it.
This is the card of the presentation where I tell you who we are. Hello, I'm Chris Kohler. I'm an editor at Wired. This is a picture of me. This actually ran in I think the February 2013 issue of Wired magazine, where after my many years of dedicated service, they finally let me write an article about video game collecting. The really hardcore video game collectors out there will know why I'm stacking up Activision games that high. Do you guys know?
Do I know why you did that?
Micah from Other Ocean, do you know why we chose? Do you know why we chose the Activision games for this shot?
It was.
What?
Let's hear it. What'd you say?
Oh, so first of all, yes, that's certainly a good guess. If the stack were to topple over, I wouldn't really care that much. No, because they stack. Activision games.
Slider thing,
yeah, right? Activision games were built to stack. They put notches on the top or notches on the bottom and little things on the top so that you could make a whole stack like that. They're like
if you
Legos.
had it like this tall, you could push it in and turn it this way, and it would not fall.
That's absolutely correct. Yep. If you did that with regular Atari games, I'd think you were some sort of a genius. But Activision Games is cheating. So yes, and that takes care of my introduction. All these are our Twitter handles. When you see the @ and then the word, that's our Twitter handles. Twitter is a service on the internet.
Yes.
Mostly my pictures of like dogs and things. And that also takes care of most of the introduction of Micah, 2013's Dad of the Year, as voted on by several other members of this panel. Mike is the, I'm going to say creative director?
Yeah, creative director is right.
Creative director of Other Ocean.
Yep.
Developer of many fine video games, including iDarb, or hashtag iDarb.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Which you can go actually play on the show floor. And Mike, you have to stand there the whole time, right?
Yeah, so I'm on booth duty. And luckily, I have a couple people from our Newfoundland office who's been helping me out, but I'm sitting there. So if you come by to play iDarb at Microsoft's booth, I will be there and I'll play against you, or you can be on my team.
And you describe this as a mix of Smash Brothers and NBA Jam,
Yeah.
and also Twitch Plays X game.
It started as a tweet, and I asked people what I should make, and so many people responded, so I put it all in, and it turned into this thing.
Yeah, Tim Schafer wanted you to make it a morality play.
Yeah, he wanted to make it a morality platformer, and I started out doing that,
Yeah.
but it sucked. So, but it was in there for a little while. But if you come on by, it has everything in it. We threw everything in the kitchen sink literally into it. And you can actually interact with the game through Twitter and Twitch. And people are watching the game live from the show, and it's insane.
You may also know Mike because he is the Donkey Kong dad, as famously profiled on Good Morning America, I think, and several other. When his daughter asked him why couldn't she play as the girl in Donkey Kong, Mike decided to pull apart the Donkey Kong ROM, swap the genders of everybody, and became an overnight sensation.
And,
because you literally did it overnight.
I did do it overnight, and I welcomed every death threat after. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh yes, because your 3-year-old has a feminist agenda.
Yeah, feminist agenda. Unbelievable.
The youngest social justice warrior?
She was the youngest social justice warrior.
And finally, a newcomer, a new challenger joins the ring, Peter Brown of GameSpot. Hello.
Hey, everybody. It's good to be here. Yeah, I'm an editor at GameSpot. I've been collecting games for a very long time, kind of sporadically, but I've been back in it. Me and Chris compete at the same flea market almost every weekend. We keep secrets from each other.
That's right.
It's great.
Yeah, you'll see us talking around a lot of things at this, yeah. And we're actually also doing totally the same exact group of people, the same exact place, but tomorrow night a different panel that's actually called "How to Collect Games Without Going Broke or Getting Scammed," and in which it's more of a structured thing where we will actually give game collecting tips. We'll have a big Q&A session for general questions about game collecting, and we'll see where that goes. Should be really interesting. But for now, it is the Retro Game Roadshow. I do have a little bit of a spiel because, when you start making a PowerPoint, it's hard to stop. I did want to talk about something that happened earlier this year. This was very interesting, and maybe you've heard of this. It's the so-called Mario Nintendo World Championships cartridge. This was the Nintendo World Championships cartridge is kind of well known in video game collecting. Nintendo had a tournament in the early 1990s, and they made a special NES game that was a little bit of Super Mario, a little bit of Rad Racer, and then a little bit of Tetris. And that was how they ran this tournament. And they made these cartridges, and they took these cartridges here, and they actually gave them out to the kids who were the finalists in the competition. And then as NES collecting started to get, really pick up steam, this cartridge kind of became known as one of the rarest, most valuable Nintendo games that hardcore collectors really want to own. Earlier this year, I saw that the collector that owned this particular one was selling it. What I found really interesting about it, and I saw it on the Nintendo Age video game collector forum. What was so interesting about it was that somebody had ripped off the actual label. The kid who owned this, the kid who owned this really felt like he needed to put his own editorial stamp on this. So he ripped off the ugly text Nintendo World Championships label, and he wrote on the cartridge, I don't know if you can see it there, Mario, in ballpoint pen right across the front, just so he can remember that when you put this game in, Super Mario starts up. And I found this very fascinating. You can see the headline that I wrote here, which is to say, the duality of this being very rare and very coveted and very valuable, but also in the worst possible condition. Yeah. So what was going to happen? What ended up happening was that many other major news outlets, for some reason, that have never covered collectible video games before, like the BBC and outlets like that, jumped on this story. And this became very, very publicized, and everybody was writing about this cartridge. And a lot of people didn't really understand what the deal was, like why it was interesting, this, the damaged rarity. People were just saying oh, people collect video games now, it's crazy. And what ended up happening was this cartridge that really should have sold for a few $1,000s based on going rates got trolled. It got trolled up to $100,000. And that's a real shame because it just sort of, it makes a lot of grief for the guy who's trying to sell this thing. And of course, the top bidder did not pay, the next bidder below him did not pay. But then you had a second round of reporting in which it was widely reported that rare video game cartridge sells for $100,000. So everybody who had covered it previously and didn't really know what was going on were now reporting that a sale had been made, which actually, if you ask the guy, is not true. He did eventually sell it. He actually sold this for $5,000, which it's probably about where it should be based on current values. But at the same time, we are now in this era in which when rare video games come up for sale, they're being noticed more. This will have the effect of driving up prices, not to this extent, but...
when we go to a flea market now, you see a common game, a random person has it, they think, okay, it's really valuable, $50 for NBA Jam, something like that. I mean, you see that, it sounds ridiculous, but it does happen, and it's sort of a condition of this.
So we are going to do our level best to be accurate about pricing when we give out pricing. We're not lowballing anybody, but we are neither are we crazy. And so with that, we'd like to start inviting people up. Now, everybody who has an item that they'd like to bring up on stage with us, have I already talked to you? Because I tried to go outside and talk to everybody.
Who haven't we talked to?
Yeah, if I haven't talked, it looks like I think we got to everybody. Okay, great. So I'm going to vacate this seat and move up there. I'm going to give Peter the power of the camera.
It's a very dangerous idea.
And then basically you will sit here where I'm sitting, right next to the world famous Peter Brown of GameSpot.com. And if you will allow him to, he will try to get your item positioned in front of the camera so that everybody, all of you out there, and the millions watching at home on closed circuit television broadcast, will get an up-close view of your item. And so with that, let's begin. Oh, and yeah, here's a microphone. You don't have to get, too close to the microphone. It's okay. Everybody can hear you, even if you can't hear yourself. Who shall be first? I believe...
Not all at once.
Should we start? How about Cyrus? There he is.
All right.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Hi. It is wrapped in a Super Smash Brothers towel.
I figured I got this, and I figured...
yeah,
with
totally.
With the casing on this, I figured that it would be a good idea to try to keep it cushioned in some way, shape, or form. Generally because Sega Saturn games are not known for having the best, most durable cases in the world.
That is absolutely correct.
Very brittle plastic on these.
Yeah, just sort of tweak the position of it there so we can see through the... Yes. It is mirrored. It is mirrored. I wonder if...
Let's use your imagination. Come on.
Yeah.
Does anybody know anything about Windows 8? So we can unmirror this? That's interesting. You can't unmirror it? Microsoft. Okay, so obviously what we're seeing here is BNAMGNIMA, and that is... Sorry, I should look over here. Oh, Mega Man 8 for the Sega Saturn. Yeah. Cyrus, why don't you tell us about it and how you came about it and, whatever.
So I made the decision a while ago that I wanted to have all the Mega Man Classic series,
yes,
physical cartridges or physical copies and all that. And upon hearing that the PlayStation version was not, well, it's complete, I guess you could say, but the Sega Saturn version has more to it. There's a few extra boss fights and stuff, I believe. So I figured I would keep an eye out for it. I wasn't actively pursuing or anything like that. But a friend and I stumbled upon went to a game exchange in town, and
that's just a used game store, basically.
Yeah.
Where is town for you? I'm interested to know.
Oh, I'm from Connecticut.
Oh, really?
So am I.
So am I.
Westward.
West Hartford.
Oh, okay. So opposite.
Yeah.
North Branford. Not that.
Yeah.
He didn't ask, but I just volunteered.
And so Game Exchange kind of has been down on they've been, at least in Connecticut, they haven't been as good as they used to be, mostly because I don't want to brag or anything, but I work for a game store called Retrogame Plus. And,
okay.
So we've been kind
of... Kicking their ass?
I'm not saying anything. And the GameStop in the town that I work in is gone for certain reasons. But
in quotes. Now I want to know.
You're burying dead bodies.
Yeah. But so we've had some interesting trade-ins, people that come to go to Game Exchange and find interesting things. And so my friend Peter and I, who's the assistant manager at the store I work at, decided to go to one. And we went there, and we found two very interesting finds.
All right.
Mine isn't as impressive, sadly, but this is what I found.
Oh, did you guys have to split up the interesting finds?
We did, and he got off with a good one.
This is a tip I may share tomorrow, which is don't go game shopping with another game shopper.
Don't do it.
He ended up finding a copy of Spider-Man Web of Fire.
No!
32X.
Nice.
Is it in the box and everything?
No, it's just loose.
Okay, all right,
but
but still.
it was priced as Sega 32X game, $3.95.
Man.
Wow.
So Spider-Man Web of Fire is the last 32X game,
Yep.
and it is the rarest 32X game. I think in the box it's like $350, hovering somewhere around there. Loose is probably what, like $125, $150 or so.
150 sounds about
yeah,
right,
Yep. So that's a steal. But what was this?
So
price
this
at?
one, I figure they knew a little bit more. They probably saw Spider-Man and were like, oh, it's Spider-Man, whatever. But they saw Mega Man, they saw Saturn. Okay, it's probably a little bit more obscure. So they slapped $15 on it.
Oh,
Still really good.
So
how are they in business?
I really
They don't know what video
They
games.
really
are.
don't.
No.
They open new stores frequently, but when you go in, they're just like it's all their extra stuff.
Huh,
So
okay.
they have like 3 copies of Mario Bros. And like
Right.
12 copies of NBA Jam. So. But so I like I said, I didn't get the better deal of the two, but I was still pretty content with that.
That's still pretty
I was
good.
still pretty content with that, yeah.
So the value on this has actually been increasing as more people are. I think a lot of people are looking at. It's going up. It's going up because you've got kind of a cross collectible situation because you do have people who are trying to get all the Saturn games because. The Sega Saturn had a smallish library, and so people start to. It's funny, the Sega Saturn has started going in that TurboGrafx direction where nobody actually had it when they were a kid, but then they kind of come into it later in life. And also Mega Man collectors. There's actually a lot of people out there who decide, I'm going to get every Mega Man game, I want all the Mega Man games. And so you have people fighting over that. They didn't make a whole lot of them. I believe this has gone past 100 now. I think it is.
Yeah, this game is worth between about 100 and 150, so you got a really good deal on it. The case is cracked, but that is not really that big of an issue.
Swappable. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I noticed is the manual is warped, and that's sort of a product of this missing the foam insert, which usually keeps that stable.
Yeah.
Again, really not that big of a deal, though.
Yeah. What I have actually heard only recently, and haven't had time to actually do this with all my Saturn games, store your Sega Saturn and other long box games upside down.
Yeah, I've been doing that for a while. I have a few games like that as well.
Yep. So don't actually store them with the top facing up because then you will have that manual sink into the crease and get warped. Flip it upside down, no problem.
There's one interesting thing to note here. There's a little label. I'm not sure if the camera can read it. But what it says is, edition includes exclusive Mega Man 8 art. And Capcom intended to include a little pamphlet with art inside of it. I don't know about the Saturn version, but I know the PlayStation version had the same label, and most copies did not come with it. Very few did. And it was a manufacturing error, and Capcom just kind of went with it. And they were like, well, okay, no one's really buying it for this. I bought Mega Man 8 for the PlayStation. I didn't get mine. I was always very confused, flipping through the manual, trying to it's like, where is this art? That alone is actually worth maybe about $20 on its own. Okay. Without it, though, it's still a very valuable game. So for $15, you've definitely made out.
Heck of a deal.
Cool.
You can retire. Thank you very much, Cyrus. It's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you for coming. Also an auspicious debut for Peter Brown, Game Evaluator. Very well done.
There you go. I was a little bit worried that some of the games were going to pop up that I maybe didn't know because I have kind of a narrow focus sometimes.
Yeah.
But perfect.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that about the art thing. That's great.
It's pretty strange.
So here's the softball for Micah. Brian F. is going to come up with his item.
Oh, I know what that is.
You know what this is.
For those who don't, you can go ahead and explain that a little bit.
Oh, this one actually has a longer explanation than
Good.
normal.
Good.
Was it longer than Cyrus's explanation?
Probably not.
Okay.
So what I have here, if you all can see, it's kind of big for the camera.
Manage it for you if you like.
Sure. So this is an arcade game that was documented thoroughly in a small documentary called The King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters. This is a copy of Donkey Kong. I acquired this game. I'm an arcade collector, and I got this board just in a deal. I bought a Nintendo cabinet. I didn't care what was in it. The guy who sold it to me didn't care what was in it. I just wanted the wood and the monitor.
What did the cabinet look like? Did it have anything?
It had no art.
Huh.
It was just the standard blue Nintendo arcade cabinet. And this board was in there, but it had been converted. So with this board, you can swap out a lot of the chips and the CPU, put a daughter card in there, make it a completely different game. This had Street Heat on it.
What now?
Street Heat. It's some old
Street
racing.
Heat.
I never played it. It didn't work.
So somebody at some point was like, the heck with Donkey Kong.
It's a piece of crap.
Yeah, it's a terrible game.
Converting it into a Street Heat.
So I erased all the chips, reflashed them, pulled the Donkey Kong ROMs off of the dark corners of the internet, flashed it, put it in the Donkey Kong cabinet that I have, and it booted up.
Oh, that's great.
Played just fine. And so I brought this just because I wanted to have something physical to show everybody. But the one thing I really wanted to show is a little bit too big to drive up from Portland.
Are you sure? Maybe you could have done it.
Not in my Mini Cooper. So I don't know how well.
Oh, there we go.
This is what that goes in.
All right.
That's great. It looks like it's in great shape. Did you restore any of this?
So this was fully restored, just for reference. This is what it looked like when I got it.
Wow.
Spray painted.
It's a lot of work.
Wow.
Street Heat in its glory.
Well, I don't know. So the cabinet that I converted to Super Mario, or to Donkey Kong, had a versus Super Mario setup in it.
Okay. Well, so what version of Donkey Kong did you put on this board?
This is set 2.
Set 2. Okay.
The standard
US set
tournament.
2. Yep. All right.
ROMs.
No gummy substances of any kind.
You see, so people complain about the gummy substance.
But they
Something on
always
the back,
have it.
yeah.
They have it right here.
Yeah, it's always there.
I think it's a thermal paste for an inductor that gets hot.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. And so if you're going in any competitions, it's totally fine to have the gummy substance on it. And these kind of boards, I actually have about 3 of these in my office right now. And until King
Donkey
of Kong,
Kongs or just
these boards, Donkey Kong boards.
Oh.
And the thing is, a lot of people like to take the Donkey Kong board and swap it out with Donkey Kong Jr. or whatever, and do all these different kind of hacks to it and stuff.
Were these built to let you swap out the ROMs? Like, are those the sockets for the EEPROMs?
I don't know if that was like the full-on intention, but for Nintendo, for manufacturing, of course, because it's so easy, of course, yank out Radar Scope and put in Donkey Kong or whatever that stuff was, however way they're playing that process. But before King of Kong, these boards would go for 15 to 20 bucks. Then King of Kong comes out. Everybody wants Donkey Kong and everything else. So even recently, these boards go for $150 to $200 in their original states. Like you flash this, put it in there, so this thing would go out there for. I mean, if you looked online, you were like.
So I know what the board goes for because I bought a few of them. I just mostly wanted to bring it up so everyone else could.
Oh yeah. But this is
just wanted to take a victory lap.
This is a dying breed board because they are such in demand now, and the prices are continually going up. I actually looked I was looking for a way to get a board for. I did that Donkey Kong hack, and I wanted to do an original ROM swap thing. And I was trying to find. I thought, okay, I've got these in my office, but those are all kind of crappy. I'm gonna go for one of the original whatevers. And I was like, I couldn't find one for less than $150 in these shapes. So I'm like, fine, I'm just gonna use my crappy boards. But this goes for about $150 now. And a lot of these boards that are kind of showing up, I think they're all flashed and because they've gone through the ringer, right? Like,
the one I have in my cabinet is actually original.
That's a good one to hold on to.
The ROM's original. The only thing I had to replace was the video potentiometers because I had a sync problem and a few of the caps to fix some sound issues.
It's a very high-level discussion between two hardcore.
The sound just didn't work. The video was broken. I made it work.
Yeah.
No, but these are great because a lot of people are wanting to buy Donkey Kongs for their home, and they're really hard to get these boards. And there's alternatives. There's these boards that you can buy now that are they're kind of gray market, but they have Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong 2, which was this crazy game that somebody made, and you get Pauline Donkey Kong on it and stuff like that.
But if you want to go for the record, you do actually have to
get the original.
You have to get the original. Can you use a flashed board at all?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know what the rules are on that, but for a while you had to have original. But then they let MAME happen, and they're like, you have to say it's on MAME. But
Yeah.
Flash, I think, is fine. I don't think there's
Right.
any complaints about
How
that.
do you tell by looking at a board that either that he flashed the EEPROMs or that they're original?
Show them what your EEPROM
Okay,
look like.
so for those who don't know, the ROM chips on arcade boards, so normally here is a little plastic window. And the way these chips are erased so that they can be reflashed is you flash a bunch of UV light on them for about 20 minutes.
You literally flash it.
Yes.
Not the flashing you're thinking, but like you.
Yeah, you put it in a little UV box and it erases the chip. So what I did when I burned these was this is just a little strip of blue painter's tape because it's what I had on my desk.
And you protect it by preventing UV from getting in there, and
Yes.
that's how you do it. So you'll see these chips usually have stickers or pieces of tape or whatever over it, prevent light from getting in there and
Yeah,
erase
and
it.
then here I don't have a prom burner because nobody has those anymore.
No.
So I had to order these guys online.
Yep. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun to see these things now because like you rarely see this stuff anymore, and you're an arcade collector like I am. So that's awesome.
I am a collector. So I guess my question is, I know what the board goes for.
Yep.
You saw the picture of my cabinet.
How much could that cabinet go for?
Consider it pristine. What would you say
I
that's about
just
worth?
witnessed one go in the Bay Area for $3,500.
Was that restored?
It was restored.
Okay, so it has like that. So it's like the art that's on the sides is brand new.
Yeah, it's brand new. Although the art on the sides was new old stock art. So,
Okay.
And that's really hard to find for
Yeah.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's not much of a difference between new old stock and old, right? I mean, if
Not
it's
really. It's the same
yeah,
thing. So.
right.
NOS. Go
Yep.
for it.
Because somebody had to build it in the first place
Yep,
and put all the parts
exactly.
together. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Thank you for bringing that. It's very cool.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Let's have James T come up. James T. There's a funny story here too.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, wow.
All right,
I've
so
seen one like this before.
this is a PC Engine clone that I got at a Value Village here locally. I work in Woodinville, and I go to a Value Village there almost every day. And I walked in there one day, and they had Hue cards up on the wall. And so I immediately bought all the Hue cards, and I bought the system to go with them. And then I found out later on that it was not a regular NEC system. It's actually just a clone from Jamico.
Yeah. So I'm going to reel this in a little bit so we can get our jargons out of the way. So the PC Engine is the Japanese version of what we know as the TurboGrafx 16. It does basically sort of look like that in Japan. The reason why it's like this big in America was like FCC shielding and extra, requirements that had to be fulfilled.
And America.
And
So,
sorry?
yeah. And America.
Go big or go home.
Because everything's bigger. Yeah, exactly.
Gotta be bigger.
Yeah, nobody wants a wimpy little game system like this, but that's about how big the PC Engine was. The Hue cards being the games, the software, which was
Do you mind if I slide it out real quick?
cards.
Yeah, I put it in there to show how hard it is to take it out.
They are. And this is a Final Soldier. This is a game by Hudson Soft,
Yeah.
which is a wonderful game. And they made a lot of great games for the PC Engine,
Yeah.
TurboGrafx 16.
And the funny part of this story, or at least I think it's hilarious, is that I went up to James in line and he's like, oh yeah, I've got this PC Engine clone. I'm like, oh, I know that PC Engine clone. I said, are you on NintendoAge.com? Because when he got it, you posted a thread about it, and I read that thread and saw that very PC Engine clone and thought, oh man, I wish I could find a PC Engine clone at a thrift store. So I actually have some questions about this before we get to value, because typically, like, bootleg kind of stuff, it's like I almost want to just assign it a value of 0. Like I don't really want to get into what it's worth because it's very strange. It's copyright infringing. But in the case of a clone system, probably all the hardware patents on this have run out at this point. So there's really nothing legally kind of messy about this at this point. What features does this have? Does this have AV out, or does it only have RF? That I'm really interested to hear.
It looks like it just has that RF port.
Yeah, interesting.
It does have the back panel though for the expansion.
Right. So okay. So you could, because they had, so the PC Engine only had RF out, which means that you can't just go buy a regular PC Engine and use it in America, because Japanese RF and US RF, even though it's both NTSC, is slightly different. But you could buy an expansion port that would give it AV out, and then also you could plug it in the expansion port. That's where it goes into the TurboGrafx CD. So I'm guessing it can maybe do both those things. Did you take the back panel off to see if there's actually connectors back there?
Yeah, there are connectors back here, just like
Okay.
the regular. And I tested the video out through the back.
Oh, you did?
So it does give AV out.
Okay. Yeah, I really want to. I'm trying to ask questions about the functionality, because that is going to affect what somebody might actually pay for this thing. What can it do? Because I think when we're looking at consoles, unless you're such a hardcore TurboGrafx collector that you want clone versions of it, for your collection, you might buy this actually to play these games. When you plug it in via RF, does it work on a US television, or?
I did not test that.
You didn't test that? Okay. Yeah, anything to add, gentlemen, before we kind of move to the
Well,
how
the
much
one thing I
money
noticed
is-
on the back here, and this doesn't really affect the value too much, but it's just interesting, kind of hard to see. The serial number is 77 out of 7 digits.
So low serial.
Low serial number, yeah. Not that really
They may have
applies
only
to
made
clones.
100 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's in really good condition, and I've never actually seen a clone PC Engine before.
Me either.
So.
Me either. You see a lot of clone Famicoms.
Oh, yeah, all over the place.
From back in the day.
Yeah.
I actually did find one of those in the thrift store once. It was in San Francisco. It was on St. Patrick's Day. The parade was going on. We were all drinking at noon. And then, a few drinks in, I was going home, and I'm like, oh, I'm near a Goodwill. And I stop in and find a bootleg Famicom that they actually did put AV outs on. So I was really happy, because I was drunk. But I use that Famicom to this day. It's very useful, and I would pay money for one to have the functionality. So, yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting. What did you pay for it, by the way, at Value Village?
It was marked at $20, and I got a discount, so it was $16.
Oh, wow.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think whenever...
And did it come with games?
There were 4 games sold separately.
Oh, okay.
And
What did you pay for the
marked
games?
at 15. I got 20% off of that as well.
Oh, okay.
It's actually worth about $15, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, right? Yeah. And typically, once a year, I get to go to Japan, and you see the PC Engines priced in stores that mark them up for popularity at around $40 American, roughly that equivalent.
But once you bring one here,
Right, then it
Yeah.
skyrockets a little bit.
yeah, it goes up a little bit, because it's more difficult for people to just go to Japan and buy it.
Did you get controllers with this at all?
There was one controller, and it appears to be a legitimate NEC controller.
Okay. Good.
Well, as it sits right now, not really considering the PC control. Oh, and they come with AC adapter and everything, or?
No, there were no other adapters. It just came with just this
That
and the
and a controller. Okay.
And this game had instructions and a case as
Oh,
well.
really?
That definitely raises the price.
Yeah. So exactly. That would raise the price probably to $25, $30 or
Right,
so.
yeah.
It's not a super rare game. Still wondering about this console. I would probably put it in the $60 to $70 range.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe 75, but
Yeah,
that sounds about right. Yeah.
It's really cool. If I saw that for $20, I'd grab it immediately. If I saw it at 40, I'd probably think about it and maybe buy it just based on how interesting it is. But yeah, that's about what I'd say. I'd say you got a really good deal on all of the stuff that you bought, for sure. Yeah, but thank you for bringing that.
Cool
'cause it's
find.
really
Thanks for
interesting.
bringing it up.
All right, thanks.
We have there's an enforcer. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Do you want to come up? Okay, come on up. After him, I'm going to ask Alex F to come up. So Alex F, you're on deck, and then Ryan W, and then Ferkwin, and then that's it. So that's your order. I may remember that. I might not. Don't worry though. Everything is okay. Hi. What's your name, sir?
Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
I have.
Thank you for your tireless volunteerism. We appreciate it.
Yes. This is a Texas Instruments TI-99 4A computer game called Hunt the Wumpus.
Kind of good angle for this here. Okay.
It's a cartridge game that plugged directly into the computer of the time from the early 80s. So it's about a 1982 cartridge that a couple of old boxes, my folks said, hey, they still happen to exist in our house. And so last year I actually got...
Who still has video games in their parents' house?
Oh, I'll have to raise my hand.
No,
I don't anymore.
We have to do better as a people.
So I managed to I got the correct prong and was able to plug it into the old television.
Yeah.
Got the old TI-99. It's still booted up, hadn't been plugged in 20-some years, and plugged in this and another game called Alpiner, and they both worked.
All right.
And it was like you search around through caves and there's clues and you try and find the Wumpus.
And you listen for specific sounds when you know he's nearby,
Yeah.
and you try to shoot in that direction, right?
You have to shoot in that direction, and the cave walls have either an outline or a darkness depending on how close you are, and there's winding and there's difficulty.
So Hunt the Wumpus is one of the earliest type-in games that was popular on old PCs. And this version for TI-99 is like a AAA version of Hunt the Wumpus back in the day. It's really good. This is the Hunt
The
the Wumpus.
HD remaster of
Yeah,
Hunt the
exactly.
Wumpus. Yeah.
This was the HD before HD. It's a really smooth game. It's really well done, and it became like the definitive Hunt the Wumpus. There are two variations of this Hunt the Wumpus. There's one on a black cartridge and one on this kind of lighter plastic. This is the more common one, and the TI-99 does anybody even know what that is? Have you ever heard of that computer, the PC? Excellent. So this is better than I thought. Fantastic PC happened to come out in the worst time because Commodore 64 and Atari 400, 800 were just eating its lunch, and they thought they could get in on the market. A fantastic PC, one of the best versions of Space Invaders, TI Invaders, and all sorts of stuff as it's called. But this is one of the better games on the system. Parsec is another one of those system games that's really good. I kind of know the value of this. Have you looked this up yet?
I haven't, but
It's not that valuable.
I didn't think it was
It's
that
about $5.
yeah.
But its memories will last forever.
It's actually fun. It was actually fun to actually.
It's one of the
fire it
best games.
I
on the
fired
system,
it up
so.
and let a friend play it, and it was just one of those things where it was so cool because it was.
This is like the Slender Man before Slender Man because it is a creepy game. This thing's hunting you down in caverns, and as simple as it is, it's a very effective game.
Yeah.
It's
And the original version was like paper tape, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like as in like punched out holes on
Yep.
what cards or
So they would
rolls
load
of-
it in on punch cards on
Yeah.
these like VAX style machines, these little PDPs and everything.
and it would print out.
It would print out. You put in your commands, and it would print out what's going on, and you're like, oh, and you're wasting trees playing this game.
Yeah, but it was the 70s.
It's the 70s. They
Nobody
didn't care.
gave a
Like,
shit.
They're smoking the trees. They're whatever. But like, so people would have stacks of paper they just toss out after playing the game. But it's great, and this is definitely a good version.
with the functioning PC and the fact that I can still wire it in, it's actually really nice for games. When you have a game day, kind of pull out the old thing and let people play it.
So you said you only have 2 games for it so far? Yeah, hunt the other games. Parsec has, if you have the voice module, Parsec has voice, a great shooter. It's like Defender, awesome system.
Yeah, so it's fun to still keep.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, the monetary value for these things is interesting, but I think the historical and personal value is also perhaps more interesting.
Yes.
Yeah,
in a way.
it's interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I love that you brought it up in a Crown, was it Crown Royale banner?
Crown Royal.
Yes. He knew the value. He was like, it's got to be
right.
protected.
Jeff, thank you very much. Who did I say? Alex F? Alex? Yes.
Oh, here it comes.
This is, so what's great about this is that every now and again I just like to bring up somebody who is going to completely stump us, and we're all just going to basically get into the fetal position at this point. It's been really good so far. Peter knew a lot about that Mega Man art book. Mike is all over the TI-99. Here is something that is going to kill us.
Okay, so I collect handheld game systems, and I've been hunting this thing down for like 4 years. It's impossible to find, especially in North America. How I came about this was I bought a GameMate, which is another really rare handheld.
Game G-E-M-A-T-E?
Yes, and I posted a picture of it on the pickup thread on NeoGAF, and some other guy was like, holy crap, someone else who owns a GameMate. And he posted a picture of his collection, and then I'm like, okay, got it, need it. Like, what is that? I have no idea. And he shows me a link to like this one English website that has some information on it, and I've been hunting it down, and finally I found a listing on some random Japanese website, and I tried to translate the page because they can't read Japanese at all, and it said like the system name and then body, so I thought it was just going to be a loose system, like body was a translation for loose, and as you can see, it's like perfect.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is in really nice
so,
condition. Yeah.
So anyway, if you look, you can't really see it here, but it came out in 1996, and there's the MSRP on the corner here. It's 39,800 yen.
Which is almost $400 by today's exchange rate.
And then I think 1996, the Game Boy Pocket came out for like $90.
Yeah. So Nintendo, one of the rarest Nintendo pre-NES machines is a dedicated TV game system that plays Go, that plays this game, the Japanese game of Go. It also retailed, I believe it was either late 70s, early 80s, it also retailed for a very, very high price. It is also super, super hard to find. And they retail for such a high price because they put in like really high-end computers of the time to be able to have the AI needed to like play a good game of Go.
As an engineer, I can attest, Go is one of the hardest games to implement, and the better the game it plays, the more expensive it becomes, because Blue Byte, the guy, Hank Rogers, impressed Nintendo with his version of Go because he made a really impressive version of Go for the Famicom.
Yep.
But yeah, the value of this thing at the day was probably because this is a really good game of Go.
Yeah, like someone took pictures of the board inside, and there's actually like a whole ton of chips, but apparently most of them are just to power the LCD screen. And you can't really see it, but if you look, you can actually see a bunch of the chips in the cartridge slot. Hold it up here, maybe.
So did you buy this on like Yahoo Auctions Japan? Did you like?
No, it was just like just a Japanese website.
Oh.
And so anyway, there's like I said, there's one website that had English information, and it said there was 3 games released for it, but I found out that's not true. Inside the box, there's a little piece of paper that shows a list of games. There's 8 games listed.
Oh man.
And
this is the beginning of a journey of a lifetime for you.
And the games that this website that everyone like follows and like uses to reference there's like 8 games listed, and the top 3. I have the 4th one. And I found online at the same website, they had games that, like, they're all listed. They have, like, KS-1001, 1002, and I found 1009 and 1010.
Okay.
So far, I've only been able to confirm that 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, and 10 exist. I haven't been able to find anything anywhere, a picture, a collection from some other collector that has them that has 5 through 8, so I don't know if they ever got released or not.
Right,
or if there's, like, an 11 or 12, a 13. But like I would. Can
you show us what one of the cartridges look like? You can dig it out.
It's about a Game Boy size, but like a little bit thicker.
It almost looks like a Neo Geo Pocket game.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah. So what's the So I mean, how different are the games?
I have no idea. Have
you played it?
I've played it a little bit. Like in the list, there's like these ones are labeled like I translate that translates to games. Like there's the 5, and then these top 3, it didn't translate into anything that I could understand. And like the one game is 9,800 yen, so I don't know what would cost $100 for a game.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other ones are 7,800 yen and 5,800 yen.
There's a lot of kanji characters that I can't read, but
And so here's what the cartridge looks like. And it still works and everything, and it's got a 5.5-inch screen. It takes 6 AA batteries, which will get you about, it says 20 hours, and I tried to translate the back of the box. It's like, you can take it wherever you can play Go on the go, and it's like, we guarantee comfortable play.
When you're going.
Yeah, I think all of the games are just different variations on Go, or they seem to be tied to like certain people, so it could be like certain champions and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I thought one of them some of them could have been games, and others could have been, one of them maybe is just like a teaching tool, how to teach people how to play possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because there's a lot of like menus in the game when I fired it up, and I could not figure out what was going on.
Right. I mean, again, the fact that it costs so much money, which doesn't really shock me again, and this would have been aimed at adults with a lot of disposable income to spend on something like this. There can't be that many of them. You are a dedicated collector of crazy Japanese handhelds, and you only just became aware of it when you saw somebody else's.
Yeah, I've only, there's 3 other, 3 or 4 other people I've seen with pictures on like Atari Age or like Assembler forums and all those other like retro places that people like post stuff. I've only found like 3 other people.
Yeah. On the other hand, it's from 1996, so it's not like it's it's not like it's that old, right? I mean, so there may in fact they might be out there somewhere. All right, watch this. What'd you pay for it?
It was about 17,000 yen, and then this cartridge was about 1,800 yen.
Okay.
So, and then it was about $300 after paying like an intermediary to to buy it, because the website wouldn't ship to anywhere outside of Japan. So.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So it was really, really expensive.
So basically around $300 for everything.
And then like immediately after, I saw one go for like 1,800 yen on a Yahoo Auctions, but it was broken.
Okay.
So I was like, I looked at it, I'm like, oh crap, I hope I didn't overpay.
Yeah.
And then I read the auction and listed it as broken. I'm like, okay, I don't care. That's not a good gauge on what its value is.
Right. Okay. It's worth $300.
Yeah.
It is worth whatever somebody will pay for it, and I mean the audience for this is so ridiculously small, right? It's you, that other guy, and that now that you both have them, nobody else wants one. So it's worth nothing. No, but yeah, I mean that's probably my best guess. Like it is obviously super rare, and I can infer that from all of the evidence in front of us, right? But at the same time, the demand is going to be really low. But it's a console. You know what I mean? It's a console with swappable games. It's by Koei, which again introduces a little bit of cross collectability, even though there's not a whole lot of Koei collectors, but they're out there, I'm sure, lurking. But I mean, yeah, I'd probably, if I had to put a number on it, say it's worth about what you decided that you had to spend to get it.
Historically, it's pretty interesting, though. I mean, this is sort of unusual to see Koei make any hardware at all, and the handheld collectible market is, like you said, I think pretty small, right? So give it some time, and I think this might gain maybe not more monetary value, but definitely more interest in what it is.
Well, that's for sure historically, because like you'll see the timeline of interchangeable cartridge portable systems is not in there. So you are now the person who's going to go to everybody and go, but wait, I've got this here. I'll just mess everything up. But it needs to be on that timeline. So it's great that we get to see it, because these sorts of things need to be on there.
Awareness will drive demand.
Yeah. It just went up right now tonight.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
So,
like I posted a blog about it, and like immediately it was like the second search result on Google.
Right, yeah, exactly. That happens to me sometimes. I search for some information about an obscure Japanese video game, and it's just something I wrote. I'm like, well, that's not helpful, Google. Thanks. I obviously already know that. Some people are pissed off that Google is, invading their privacy. I feel like not nearly enough. Wasting my time. Well, yeah, thank you very much for bringing this. It's really cool. Ryan W., I believe we're going to do Ryan. Yeah. Moving along swimmingly. Everybody having a good time? How are you guys doing?
All right.
Oh, you could have just said yes.
You're all happy because you can see my
yeah,
gigantic face on 2 monitors, right? That's good? No? Okay.
To have your face on all the monitors? That was the idea.
All right. Okay, this is what I was looking forward to. So yeah, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and what this is and how you got it.
I'm Ryan, and I'm from Vancouver. I'm a big collector of anything Final Fantasy, and this is one of my best and most prized collections. I bought this on eBay in about 2005, and I was still a student, so I didn't have a lot of money. But when I saw this, I immediately wanted it. And it's a music box, and it plays a very good melody. Should I show it?
I would love you to show it, please.
That would be fantastic.
So who here knows Final Fantasy?
I'm sure 1 or 2 people here probably.
Who here played Final Fantasy VII?
Again,
Never
1 or 2
heard of it.
people.
So
I've only played Final Fantasy 13.
before that, I got one of them. I had the creator sign this, so I'm really happy that he did.
This was just today, right? Or
yesterday.
Yesterday.
So let me just play it and open up for you. And
bit more. Oh no!
Crash. Awesome.
It plays the full song.
It plays the whole song? Do you take American Express?
That's awesome.
And they sat there and they listened to it all night. Transfixed. Oh man, it's all of the feels.
That's great.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got to talk about this.
Wow.
Talk about this, yeah.
So if you take a look at the inside, actually, it's made by Orpheus, which is a very famous company, and it's made of a wood that's best suited for music boxes. And if you take a look at the serial number, it's number 75. I've heard they're supposed to make about 1,000 of these, but actually, remember when Squaresoft became Square Enix?
Yes.
So what I've heard is that when Squaresoft became Square Enix, they were supposed to make about 1,000 of these, but only 100 were ever released. No one has known the other ones above 100.
So as far as we know, there's only 100 of these in existence.
Yes.
So anything Final Fantasy is obviously very collectible, and especially a Final Fantasy VII, and something this limited is very rare and very sought after.
Yeah, so the box actually says Square Company Limited. So it preceded or was maybe right before the merger of Square Enix, because it doesn't say that. Yeah, so so when you showed this to me online, I actually had to do a little bit of quick research on it. So yeah, I found the same thing that you did, that people believe that only 100 were made. It is, obviously it's incredibly awesome for anybody who's a Final Fantasy fan would want to have that. What did you pay for it in 2005?
$500?
And that was probably a lot of money to pay if you're a student, right? I like that we have a soundtrack too for this.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea of what it's worth about now?
I'm not too sure. I just decided to bring it here and see how much it really is worth.
Yeah. So, in fact, there have been a couple of sales, right, Peter?
Yeah, in June of this year, 2 separate ones were sold from Japan on eBay for around $3,000 a piece. Yeah.
So since we have 2 sales that occurred recently, it's probably about it. But there is something that we do want to talk about with this particular piece, is that you just had it signed by Hironobu Sakaguchi, who is the creator of Final Fantasy. So the addition of a signature to something is not necessarily always making that thing more valuable. It might in fact make something more valuable. It might leave the price where it is. And I mean, there's cases in which you may in fact find that the item has been made less valuable by the addition of a signature. In this case, I'm not really sure. I don't know, do you guys want to take a stab at any of this?
My opinion on this is maybe a little bit emotional, and I think sometimes that does kind of come into collecting as well. Final Fantasy VII, Hironobu Sakaguchi made that in memory of his mother. And this song is a very somber song. I don't know that the person who would be buying this would know that and have a perspective on it, but to me that kind of speaks a lot about what this is and maybe what it means to him, and the fact that he signed it, to me, is kind of interesting. I mean, typically signatures don't always increase the value of things. Sometimes it'll tarnish it. But this is a pretty special item and a special part of his career. So I think that does, in my instance, in my opinion, I think that does raise the value a little bit.
Like, would you ever entertain the idea of selling this?
If I can buy a house with it.
Right answer. I mean, this means a lot to you. You spent a lot even in the day for it. and getting the signature on it, and it's something that's for you, and this meant something to you, I can't say that like it doesn't affect that value, like you're saying on a personal level or anything like that. It doesn't affect that value there. But on the flip side, it is like this very rare thing, and like you might have a one-of-a-kind painting or whatever, and you don't have the painter like write his name on over it and put it up on your wall, right? So in many cases, that's actually brought the value down. But in this case, like again, I think everybody in the room who's played the game and knows the story and everything else, like there's a lot of emotion to all this stuff. So I wouldn't say it devalues it if you're never gonna, like,
right.
I wouldn't.
But
say
it may be the case that like if you ever do decide to sell it, you may find people actually don't
there's a
want that
reason
one.
for that too, because you did not like. Was there a witness here? Was this authenticated that he signed it? There's a lot of forgeries on these things.
I took a picture, but
Good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic, because that's the stuff that comes up when you're trying to sell something when you want to buy a house with it. They want to know that it's real. And so that's the good. But taking the picture was a great step for that. That's great.
if I got Nobuo Uematsu to sign this, would this
Oh,
also
he's a hack. Don't do that.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Personally, in this instance, I think the way it was signed and the fact that it was Sakaguchi-san, I don't know that you would be able to go beyond that by adding another signature to it.
Yeah.
Maybe if he was to sign it, on the inside of the door, perhaps. But right now, it's such a tasteful signature on an item that
it is a really nice signature.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't detract from the aesthetic value of it, which is sort of a not always an important thing, but in something like this, I think it does make a difference. So
You don't want it to look like a yearbook. So that's
right, exactly. Yeah.
Great summer.
I have some late breaking news via a text from my wife, who was watching on stream, who says, "I want that music box. Get me that music box." I may not be able to. I couldn't swipe the American Express card. Yeah, I know. We'll swap. Yeah, we'll trade the house. Worth it. Thank you very much. We're going to get Ferkwin up here. Yes, that was amazing. Thank you so much.
Very good.
That is, one of the best, if not the best thing anybody has brought up at Retrogame Roadshow probably ever. That's extraordinary.
Take care of it.
Yeah, right. Don't drop it as you get off the stage. It starts playing.
Everybody's so worried as he's walking down the steps.
He drops it. It starts playing the Chocobo song.
Oh, no. Have you tried turning the dial the other way?
Oh, God.
We are getting the sign that says that we have a whopping 5 or 4 minutes left, so this is going to be the amazing lightning round starring Ferkwin and his bag of stuff. Every now and again, somebody decides that they have to bring everything they own to Retrogame Roadshow. It's always, well, not everything. It's always just one person who brings, like, we had somebody bring crates and crates and crates of things at one point, Super Nintendo controllers and things of that nature. We asked her to pick one thing. So we're just going to lightning round this sucker.
Let's
just look
speed
at,
round it.
we're going to look at everything in your bag and tell you exactly what it's worth, like within, $200-300 and somewhere in that range. All right.
Okay, we've got a
right,
box Super Game Boy. I'm
$40.
assuming that it's complete. $40.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have a box Mario Paint. I'm also assuming that one is complete. Hold on here.
Yeah. Assuming it's $60.
Sure.
50, 60. People like Mario Paint more than they want to have a Super Game Boy.
Is this the original Game Boy? The original release?
Original Game Boy.
Well, it's the original Game Boy with the original release.
I don't know. Did it have the earbuds?
Lightning round.
80
$75.
bucks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you jerk.
$10. $10.
Yeah. 10, 50
I've got
cents.
$10 for you. I'll take it off your
yeah.
hand.
Does it still have was the book inside of this when it came out, or was it like shrink wrap too?
I
Right?
bought it new when it came out.
Okay.
Is it still in good shape? Book is good?
Pretty good. Yeah,
Okay.
It has the guide and
All right.
everything.
$500.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Final Fantasy Anthology Black Label, $20.
Yep.
Final Fantasy Chronicles Black Label, not sealed, right?
No.
I never
It's got the little sticker on it, but it's not. There's no shrink wrap.
There's no shrink wrap. It does have the sticker.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you could get the discs out, but yeah, there's no shrink wrap.
$20.
Yeah.
Yep. Mega Man X1,
Yes.
CIV.
X1. Yep.
complete in box.
Very, very good condition, actually.
$80.
Yep.
Yeah.
Been going up. Mega Man X1 is going up in value, as are all Super Nintendo. Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout for the NES. Is there some writing on there?
No, I don't see any writing.
Okay.
Looks good. Yeah,
Okay.
super clean.
Oh, it's not writing. It's like Daffy Duck.
Yeah.
I'm far away. Clearly need to get eye surgery. 15 bucks. 20 bucks.
A loose copy of Mega Man 3, which I had Inafune signed.
I paid $25 for this the other day.
Yesterday, yeah?
Yep.
25 cents for the
25 bucks.
sleeve.
It is a Funko Land.
It is a Funko-Land sleeve. Oh, those were good
Keep them
times.
coming. I see Mega Man X2 cartridge only.
About $80.
80 bucks. Sounds good to me. 130.
Mega Man X3, you're looking about $100.
Oh, a little higher.
You think so these
Yeah,
days?
just a touch.
I'd say
Just a
100.
touch.
Yeah, I'm sticking with
120?
100.
All right, okay. All right, okay. We can have disagreement.
It has the little indent with the circle on the front.
Okay.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII demo CD.
Yeah, I've got one of these. I paid about $10 for it. I'm
You
gonna put it
overpaid.
at 15.
Oh, okay.
No?
I don't know. 10, 15. Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. He's just trying to make me not feel bad.
All right. Is this
Tetris?
Is it signed by Alexei
Nintendo
Pajitnov?
Tetris.
Well, no,
Nope.
his
Okay.
thing's tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, soon it's going to be signed by him.
Well, hopefully, if I can.
Okay.
I was going to the Inafune panel tomorrow.
Are you trying to buy a house?
Okay, you want to trade? Can we arrange an elaborate trade here where we just trade up until we get to the Final Fantasy music box? Like, who will trade me a house for Earthbound, for example?
I'm gonna say about
Then I can trade the house for the box. And,
$20 for this?
$20.
yeah, no, 10, 15, super common.
I was way off.
Keep moving.
That's nice.
N64, what is it? Sealed expansion pack?
Sealed expansion pack. $12.
No.
It is sealed.
Loose, they're 20, 25 loose.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding
No.
me?
Yeah.
I think he's kidding us.
No, people need those things. The expansion pack for the N64.
They
Turn
do.
Rage Wars.
People really
Are we
have to buy,
talking
like,
eBay,
Majora's
buy it
Mask and
now, or are
stuff?
we talking flea market?
Flea market?
$25.
Yeah,
So in the box,
Ish.
in the box, 25
In the box
bucks.
sealed, yeah, a little bit, yeah, more than that. Yeah, 30, 40.
All right, you got it.
All right, wait. They're gonna kick us
I brought
out.
these for Jeremy Parrish
Oh,
to see.
Rumble 1/2. The two fighting games for the Super Nintendo. Are these the same game? Just the different region?
Oh, yeah, they're all in there.
There were a couple
There were a
fighting
couple
games.
long
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
This is probably the bad one.
One of my favorite
whatever.
anime series. I'm gonna put that out there.
Japanese one, 20 bucks, probably.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right.
American 50.
Yeah,
Yeah.
loose it's about 15, 20.
This
Everything
is-
else in good condition.
This is the Metroid Prime 2 demo disc mailer that NOA did. I have the same one.
Oh yeah,
I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I think I mailed a lot of these out.
they did.
20, 30,
20.
All right.
20.
The interactive multi-game demo disc. There were many of these made. I have number 31, I want to say. These typically go between $20 and $35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to do the calendar?
Oh,
Yeah. This calendar is cool. I actually have the 1990 version of this calendar. They sold through Nintendo Power and possibly other places.
So on model.
Is there any? Yeah, right. Samus with holding a gun, shooting a cheap. Is there any writing in the calendar?
No.
Is
No?
it clean?
All I did was just hang it on the wall.
Yeah.
This one is hard to find. I'm gonna even go maybe even like 50 bucks.
Yeah, one of
Yep.
these popped up recently on my radar, and I'd never seen it before. The
Yep.
art is so distinct, but it's in great condition. So
It is. It's nice, and that's the harder one to find too. 1990 is easier. Moving right along.
Oh.
What else should we do?
Old promo.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
cool.
What was the value on the calendar?
Oh, 50 bucks.
50 bucks, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are some of the Toys R Us Nintendo Power.
I got them in the mail.
Yeah. They were mailed to I believe they were Nintendo Power subscribers. Oh no, computer. Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry, computer and sleep mode.
That's fine.
I've never seen some of these.
The Star Fox one, we have a copy in our office. We bought it off eBay. A friend of mine paid $30 for it. It's worth
Really?
it's worth about 10.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He
But
paid
you were-
too much. But this
yeah.
one's sealed, so that's cool. There's a really cool video on here with Nintendo actors abusing Sonic in like a torture chair. That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What would you value these at? There's one for Donkey Kong. There's one for.
I think $5 to
General.
$10 each.
$5 to $10 a piece. Yeah.
I'm just probably a lot of people out there have these too. I have almost all those.
Oh yeah. Okay. We'll close with this. We'll close with
Okay.
this.
What do we have here?
What do we got?
Oh wow. Okay, so this is the comic book version of the old Mario Brothers cartoon. I don't know much about these.
No connection. No connection to the cartoons.
But
the comics were done by Valiant Comics. They were some of the first comics done by Valiant.
But look at that art, though. That art is so similar.
The art is, but there's no, the plots are not. The Saturday morning cartoons were not very good. Let's all be honest with ourselves.
Whoa.
The Saturday morning Mario cartoons were not so great. These comics are really funny. These are actually really, really funny, creative, funny. This one is called The Stupid Bomb.
Just look how funny that is.
This is one of the best. Everybody, it's a bomb that turns everyone stupid. It's like, I don't think I think Nintendo was like asleep at the wheel when like they were making some of these comics because they're so out there with the characters. Like Princess Peach is kind of an a-hole like to everybody. They're really good. You should read these comics. Yeah.
There's the iconic Mario Brothers 3 artwork on there. I believe that's ripped right from the cartridge.
It's a little more derpy, but
yeah, he's cross-eyed. But yeah, these are awesome. I think they used to go for a little bit more, but now that we have eBay and now that everybody can always find any issue that you want, like they're good. They're good. A few bucks each. I mean, I don't think they went crazy in terms of value. You might like maybe there's an issue in there that is really rare. You know what I mean? Like because typically with comic books, people tend to save what on earth did we get that out of here?
Princess Peach looks really weird on this one. Yeah. Is that the extent of what you've got for us?
There's some like PlayStation demo discs and stuff in there, but I think we got all the good stuff. Yeah. All right, we are super out of time. Thank you all very much for coming to Retrogame Roadshow. Really appreciate it. Thank you to Ferquin and his magical suitcase of random stuff. Good stuff in there. Tomorrow night, the classic game collecting panel with your panel of experts here. We're going to share some tips and stuff about classic game collecting. Show up, same place, 9 o'clock. Hope to see you all again. Thank you for coming. Good night.